Good Monday afternoon, my friends. Welcome to the Nemo update for Monday, January 1st, 2018. I'm your armchair news reporter and presenter, Joe Hafner, with you. And we'll see a mixture of sunny skies, but a continuation of cold temperatures, at least for the next several days. Currently across the Show Me State, 1 above 0 at KCI Airport. Elsewhere, Chillicothe checking in with 3 above. Sunny skies at 9 degrees in Springfield. Same for Joplin as well as in Branson. 3 degrees above 0 in Jefferson City. 5 degrees in Rolla. 4 degrees in Sedalia. St. Louis reporting 3 degrees and sunny skies. 10 degrees above 0. That's the one of the warmest readings across the Show Me State at Cape Girardeau. Right now, the warmest reading across the Show Me State is at Poplar Bluff with 14 degrees. In the meantime, Kirksville under sunny skies and an even 0 degrees, where we've struggled to reach 0 all day long. As a matter of fact, had an overnight low of about 15 below 0 to kick off the new year. As far as the weather forecast is concerned, as I said, doesn't look like much of an improvement over the next several days. Dangerous wind chills remain in the Show Me State and across much of the nation's midsection through at least tomorrow. The National Weather Service office in Pleasant Hill says, much like last night into this morning, dangerously cold wind chills from 20 to 25 degrees below 0 are expected. Again, for tonight through tomorrow morning, the cold wind chills will cause frostbite and hypothermia symptoms in as little as 30 minutes. So you're advised to stay indoors if at all possible. But if you do have to venture outside, make sure to wear plenty of layers, along with a hat, scarf, and gloves. And you should also have an emergency kit with blankets in your vehicle in case you have to do any sort of traveling. Again, as I said, dangerously cold temperatures are expected for the start of the new year, and a wind chill warning remains in effect through noon tomorrow. What this means is dangerously cold wind chills are expected to stick around for at least another day, and wind chills will range anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees below 0 through this morning, and from about 20 to 25 degrees below 0 through tonight into tomorrow morning. That includes portions of north central, northeast, and northwest Missouri in effect until noon tomorrow. Again, as I said, cold wind chills could cause frostbite and hypothermia conditions in as little as 30 minutes. So please stay indoors if you can. But if you do have to venture outside, make sure that you have the appropriate clothing and emergency blankets in your vehicle in case you get stranded. So our forecast calling for sunny skies for today, but a continuation of the cold temperatures. We've pretty much reached out at the high for today at 1 above 0. Wind chills of minus 20 to minus 30 degrees are possible. Northwest winds will continue to contribute to those wind chills out of the northwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight. Lows once again in the mid-teens below 0. That's minus 14 for tonight. And wind chill values of minus 18 to minus 28 possible. Northwest winds diminishing overnight. And then sunny skies, a little bit warmer for tomorrow, plus highs around 13 above, and more of the same for Wednesday. A little bit colder on Thursday, along with a chance of snow developing late Thursday, and a return to warmer temperatures in store for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll have complete details on that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. In the meantime, taking a look at the community calendar, most activities have been called off for today, including the hike that was scheduled for today at the Thousand Hill State Park here in Kirksville. Some activities going on tomorrow includes the American Red Cross. They're facing a looming shortage of blood types, mostly needed by patients, and it's calling on eligible donors with O negative, B negative, and A negative blood types to give now to prevent an emergency situation in the future. Blood donation appointments can be easily scheduled by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app on your smartphone or tablet computer, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Also coming up tomorrow, the Macon County Health Department will hold a WIC voucher pickup and tuberculosis testing. The clinic is tomorrow. Schedule an appointment with the Macon County Health Department office by calling them tomorrow at 660-385-4711. That's 660-385-4711. The Nemo Country Dance Club classes begin this Sunday, January 7th, with line dancing at 4:30, beginner partner at 5:30, and experienced dance partner at 6:30 at the Mary Immaculate Catholic Church Gymnasium on Washington Street, Kirksville. Classes are scheduled for 5 weeks. Just Facebook the organization or check out their website, NemoCountryDance.com. That's NemoCountryDance.com. Also going on, the Adair County Mobile Food Pantry distribution is scheduled for later this month. That's on Saturday, January 27th, and again next month, February 24th, at the Hamilton Street Baptist Church, located at 802 West Hamilton in Kirksville, beginning at 11 a.m. A number is required to receive food and will be given out starting at 9 o'clock that morning. To receive food, please bring a photo ID, Social Security card of each family member living with you, along with proof of residency. For example, it could be a utility bill or other mail with your name and current address. You're also asked to bring a box, basket, or bags to carry the food home. The Adair County Public Library will be hosting its Wiggles and Giggles program, Story Time, every Thursday. That's for 2-year-olds from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. this Thursday. For more details, call the library office tomorrow at 660-665-6038. That's 660-665-6038. And also going on, every Friday, the Adair County Public Library is hosting its Bookworm Club Storytime. Again, that's every Friday for kids ages 3 to 5 years of age from 10 to 11 a.m. at 1 Library Lane in Kirksville. Call 665-6038. The Missouri Veterans Commission office on the first floor of the Adair County Courthouse is open most Mondays through Friday. They are closed today, but will be open tomorrow from 8:30 till 4:30. If you need their services, call 660-785-2460. That's 660-785-2460. And as I said a little bit earlier, the Thousand Hills State Park was planning on bringing in the new year with a walk on the wild side. They were hoping to kick off 2018 with a first-day hike event on Forest Lake Trail in Kirksville today. However, due to the extremely bitter cold weather, that hike has been canceled. Again, the Thousand Hills hike scheduled for today has been canceled. And one other reminder, Macon City officials remind residents and drivers in the area to be especially careful when driving along Highway 63 just south of Samaritan Hospital today. Around 10 o'clock yesterday morning, a water main broke, and the breach has been contained and the area cleaned. However, due to the excessive cold temperatures and extra water, the buildup of additional buildup of ice, I should say, is creating hazardous driving conditions on Highway 63 just south of Samaritan Hospital. Now, let's take a look at local and regional news. And in the news today, one person is dead and another injured after a double shooting at the Waffle House on Vandiver Drive in Columbia early this morning. Columbia police responded around 1:50 this morning, and Boone County Joint Communications advised officers that victims with gunshot wounds arrived at a local hospital. The preliminary investigation revealed an altercation occurred at the Waffle House, and at least 2 shots were fired, striking 2 male victims. Medical personnel pronounced 30-year-old Anthony Deshaun Warren dead at the hospital. Another victim, 26-year-old, who has not been identified yet, sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Detectives with the Criminal Investigations Division have taken over the investigation. They are working to interview witnesses and determine what led to the altercation and subsequent gunfire. If anyone has information about this incident, please contact the Columbia Police Department at 573-874-7652 or Crime Stoppers at 573-875-TIPS to remain anonymous. Again, the Columbia Police Department phone number is 573-874-7652, or you can call Crime Stoppers at 573-875-TIPS to remain anonymous. While the majority of the Christmas, New Year's holiday celebrations may be over for the year, a lot of people will still be gathering for some lighter celebrations today. Sergeant Eric Brown with the Missouri State Highway Patrol in Macon notes that last year was a deadly one on Missouri roads.
First and foremost, law enforcement and all the first responders want everyone to enjoy their New Year's festivities and start off the new year right. Last year during that counting period, we had 8 people killed in traffic crashes and 302 injured. Traffic crashes are preventable, and they're definitely preventable ones that involve impaired drivers. So we ask that drivers and passengers alike be responsible, pay attention to the job of driving, designate a sober driver if your plans involve alcohol, and be sure everyone in the vehicle is wearing a properly fastened seatbelt.
Sergeant Brown says that even one drink can impair your judgment.
Any amount of alcohol or prescription drugs impairs your ability to safely operate a vehicle. It's not worth taking a risk of thinking that you've only had 1 or 2, that you're safe to drive, and find yourself in a situation you're involved in a traffic crash or subject to arrest. If you're in a crash that injures or kills someone, your chances of going to prison are very, very high. It's always the best policy to designate a sober driver to ensure your safety and the safety of those in your vehicle and the other people on the roadway.
Sergeant Eric Brown adds that the Missouri State Highway Patrol will put on programs for groups throughout the area on a variety of subjects, including the dangers of drinking and driving. A Bowling Green woman sustained moderate injuries during a one-car crash early this morning south of Palmyra. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says that 19-year-old Devin McDonald lost control of her car on southbound Business 61. McDonald's vehicle crossed the center line and overturned. Devin McDonald was taken to a Hannibal hospital for treatment. The crash occurred around 1 o'clock this morning. The Highway Patrol was assisted by the Marion County Sheriff's Department and the Palmyra Police Department. Meanwhile, a Columbia woman sustained moderate injuries during a single-car crash yesterday afternoon west of the city. The Missouri State Highway Patrol reports that 58-year-old Sharon K. Bailey, drove her car off the right side of westbound Highway 40, just east of Route W. Authorities say Bailey overcorrected, and her vehicle went off the left side of the road before coming to rest at a guardrail. Sharon Bailey was taken to a Columbia area hospital for treatment. The crash occurred around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. And a Hannibal woman was moderately injured in a one-vehicle crash Saturday morning about 5 miles south of town. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says that 57-year-old Penny Robinson drove her car off the west side of southbound Highway 61. Authorities say Robinson's car then hit a tree and a building before coming to a stop. Penny Robinson was taken to a Quincy, Illinois hospital for treatment. The crash occurred around 9:45 Saturday morning. The new year, of course, is here, and with it comes higher utility fees for Kirksville residents. The Kirksville City Council approved the slight increase in user charge rates for the city's water and sewer service back in October. For 2018, a Tier 1 customer will pay a water volume fee of $3.88 per 100 cubic feet. Tier 2 will pay $3.40 per 100 cubic feet. Tier 3 will pay a $3.14 per 100 cubic feet increase. And special industrial customers would pay nearly 90 cents per 100 cubic feet. The water service availability fee will remain at the same rate. The sewer volume fee will be $5.04 per 100 cubic feet, while the sewer service availability fee will be $12.50 a month. The minimum residential users' estimated monthly bill will increase from $52.99 to $54.67. That's a $1.68 increase due to the rate changes. You're in tune to the Nemo update for Monday, January 1st, 2018. We have sunny skies across the region, but extremely bitter cold temperatures, and the bitter cold snap is expected to last for several more days. I'll have complete details on the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, we're at an even 0 degrees under mostly sunny skies in Kirksville. Continuing with the news, part of the Christmas New Year holiday tradition for most of us is looking back at the year just gone by. Diane Richardson is no different. She's the director of Main Street Moberly and says that 2017 proved to be a busy year thanks to a calendar filled with a lot of activities and events. The final event for last year was Living Windows.
We had so many people downtown and activities going on, and we had a movie at the 4th Street Theater that night, and the library was open, and there was a party going on at the Bierman's Center, and we had about 150 volunteers and dancers and singers and entertainers in the windows. So we think we had about 500 people downtown that evening.
Along with all of the events that Main Street Moberly helps with and puts on, Richardson says there is a lot of work going on behind the scenes all the time.
We had a lot of people that attended conferences and workshops with us, which I'm a big proponent of professional development, because that just excites everybody. It kind of lights the spark. It gets everybody going again.
Diane Richardson with Main Street Moberly. One of the challenges for Randolph County officials in addressing turnover and salary concerns comes from the state of Missouri. Presiding Commissioner John Truesdale explains what local governments are contending with.
When you've still got the state coming in and doing unfunded mandates, when they turn around and they walk up to you in November and they say, hey, I'm not going to pay that $239,000 that I owe you, and you'd count on that all year, well, what are you supposed to do in the course of the next 60 days? Those are the kind of issues that we have to deal with, and I know it probably sounds like I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. Those are issues to be dealt with, and the commission is working with those and dealing with those and trying to get around those and make sure those work.
Randolph County officials hope to have work completed on the new budget before the end of next month. Meanwhile, Show Me Pace Clean Energy gave a presentation about its services at the latest Fayette City Council meeting held last month. Now the Board of Aldermen is considering an ordinance for commercial and residential customers to participate in the program. Fayette City Administrator Robin Triplett recaps two additional items from the December 19th meeting.
We accepted a bid for a pump for our wastewater treatment plant, and our fire chief was also here to discuss whether we are going to purchase a different ladder truck, upgrade the current one, or try to reapply for another grant for a ladder truck for the community.
Triplett notes the Fayette Board of Aldermen has not made a decision concerning the future of the ladder truck.
He's to get some cost estimates for repairs on our current truck and also bring they had been looking at some used trucks, and he's supposed to bring that information as well.
Triplett adds that the Fayette City Council has yet to continue talks on the plan to proceed with a community improvement district. Meanwhile, several area city governments are scheduled to hold their first meetings of 2018 beginning tomorrow. The Marshall City Council is scheduled for their monthly meeting at 6 p.m. with a couple of ordinances scheduled to be discussed. According to the advanced agenda, the ordinances involve vacating and discontinuing portions of public alleys in blocks 25 and 35 of the College Edition. Also on the agenda, the Council is scheduled to discuss appointments to the Board of Building Code and Board of Public Works and hear an update on a tree trimming project. The Marshall City Council meeting will be held at the Council Chambers at City Offices building located at 214 North Lafayette Avenue. Meanwhile, a bill regarding a conditional use request for C&M Farms is scheduled to be discussed at a meeting of the Higginsville Board of Aldermen tomorrow. There will also be a closed executive session during the meeting, which is set to begin at 6 p.m. at the Higginsville City Hall at 1922 Main Street. The 2018 budget is scheduled to be discussed at the meeting of the Carrollton Town Council tomorrow night. Also on the agenda, the council is set to consider approval of a liquor license and hear reports from the fire and police departments, and as well as Administrative Assistant Terry Bell. There could also be a closed executive session held for legal, real estate, personnel, and or contract matters. The regular meeting of the Carrollton Town Council is set for tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at City Hall at 206 West Washington Avenue. Not to be left out, the Concordia Board of Aldermen has scheduled their meeting for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. According to the advanced agenda, the board is scheduled to discuss a resolution authorizing the surrendering of a $50,000 certificate of deposit and reassignment of another CD to the 2012 Debt Reserve Fund. The meeting is set to begin at 7 o'clock in room 202 at the Concordia Community Building on South Gordon Street. And finally, an ordinance regarding an agreement between City Hall and Callis Integrated Marketing for a recycling program, or rather a recycling education and communications project titled Recycle Sedalia, is scheduled to be discussed by the Sedalia City Council at its meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the Municipal Building on South Osage Avenue. And one more to tell you about. Boonville's City Council is scheduled to hear the second reading of a bill amending the salaries of the mayor and city council members during its meeting tomorrow night. Also on the advanced agenda, the council is scheduled to hold a discussion about a fire truck and get an update on the animal shelter. The meeting is set to begin at 7 o'clock at Boonville City Hall on East Spring Street. A Minden resident was seriously injured in a rollover traffic accident in Sheraton County Saturday. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, the accident occurred as a southbound vehicle driven by 64-year-old Kevin B. Hart reportedly traveled off the left side of the roadway, struck a mailbox, then an embankment, became airborne, struck a second embankment, became airborne a second time, hit a tree, and overturned. Hart was taken by air evac helicopter to University Hospital in Columbia for treatment of injuries. The crash occurred just before 5:30 Saturday evening on Missouri Highway 11, about a half mile north of Brunswick. A Lexington, Missouri teenager sustained injuries in a traffic crash in Lafayette County Saturday. A report from Missouri State Highway Patrol says the crash occurred as a northbound vehicle driven by 16-year-old Jesse Allnut reportedly traveled off the east side of the roadway, struck an embankment, and returned to the roadway, where it eventually came to rest. Allnut, who was reportedly not wearing a seatbelt, was taken by private vehicle to Lafayette Regional Hospital in Lexington for treatment of moderate injuries. The crash occurred around 6:30 Saturday morning on Route O, north of Greyhound Lane. A Columbia man serving time at an area detention center is formally charged with a felony for an incident that occurred last year in Cooper County. A probable cause statement says that on December 27, 2016, 30-year-old Joshua Maycumber was incarcerated at the Cooper County Detention Center in Boonville and allegedly sent a letter to an addressed person asking them to talk to a victim in an effort to have charges against him dropped. Maycumber allegedly gave false information to the addressed person in the letter. Online court documents say that Maycumber has been charged with a Class C felony for tampering or attempt to tamper with a victim in a felony prosecution case. Bond was not set. Maycumber's initial hearing in the case in Cooper County Cooper County Circuit Court, in Boonville, is pending. In other regional news, 2017 was a big year for facility improvements at the Little Dixie Regional Libraries across central Missouri. Rachel Grime of Little Dixie describes a safety improvement project made at the Moberly location.
We have some stairs going down to the back of the library, and the stair treads had been taken from years ago, and so we'd had some issues with staff, and it just wasn't a safe situation. And so Foundation Recovery Systems and Kinder Repair Shop both worked together, and they created from scratch stair treads for us, and they put them on for us.
Grimes says the roof was replaced at the Huntsville Library. Meanwhile, the Madison location also had a big renovation.
We have some stairs going down to the back of the library. They had an entire renovation to their basement system, so they dug around the building, they dug inside of the basement. The library was closed for a week in Madison, and we hope that all of our leaking issues are finished.
But perhaps the biggest improvement was made at the Paris location.
We have a room called the McCamey Room, and that was named in honor of one of the past librarians. We've recently put in new lights, all LEDs, and it just makes the room just look amazing. We have a new drop ceiling. We have a new heating and air conditioning system in that room, and then they are finishing it up by including new trim.
All locations of the Little Dixie Regional Libraries were closed Saturday, and again today. They're expected to resume normal library hours tomorrow. Shobina firefighters responded to a structure fire last Thursday night at around 10:40 p.m. The fire was located northwest of Shobina on Shelby County Road 328. Upon arrival, firefighters found a barn fully engulfed in flames. The barn and several large bales of hay were destroyed in the blaze. Shobina firefighters were assisted by the Shelby County Fire Department and Shelby County 911. Shobina firefighters also responded from that scene about 20 minutes later to a one-vehicle rollover accident with entrapment on Highway 36 near Honeywell. Shobina firefighters assisted the Monroe City Fire Department. Turning our attention to farm news today. As with all other industries, farmers nationwide are curious as to what 2018 has in store for them. Gary Crawford, reporter for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, offers a quick view of the bureaucratic future for America's producers.
The Agriculture Department has not yet made a forecast for 2018 farm income, but there are some hints. 2017, generally a year of flat to falling commodity prices. USDA's chief economist Rob Johansson expects for 2018
another year of the same.
And besides sales of products, though, farmers' income can include direct safety net programs from the government. In 2017, they were down nearly 14% from 2016, and Johansson says for 18,
we would expect government payments by and large to be smaller than they were in 2017.
For example, in the ARC, the Ag Risk Coverage Program,
the payments under that program are going to become smaller as each year passes. With the Olympic average, we're going to be dropping out those record high years we saw in 2012, 2013. As those fall out of the calculation, payments to be received by producers that are enrolled in that program are also going to come down.
Meanwhile, farm production costs have been rising after 2 years of decline. So now these factors may hint at lower farm income in 2018, but there's still lots of uncertainty. USDA will make its first official farm income forecast in early February. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Washington.
Thank you much, Gary. I'll have a look at a story about a new app that could help with successful food preservation. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Right now, though, taking a look at closing market information from last Friday. First of all, at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and Board of Trade. First of all, take a look at the closing grain numbers, I should say. March corn closed at $3.50 and 3/4, down a penny and a quarter cents. And January soybeans closed at $9.51 and 3/4, up 6 cents. January soybean meal closed at $3.1260, up 80 cents. January soybean meal closed at $33.08, up 58 points. March wheat closed at $4.27, a bushel, down 3/4 cent. Switching to the Merc, December live cattle closed at $123 per head, down $1.55. February lean hogs closed at $71.77, up 22 cents. February crude oil closed at $60.42, up 58 cents. March cotton closed at $78.63, down 17 cents. January rice contracts closed $11.68, up 2.5 cents. January Class 3 milk closed at $14.08, up a penny. And February gold closed at $1,000, or rather at $1,309.30, up 12.10. Finally, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at 24,719.22, down 118.29 points. And that's a brief summary of your market information. And as I said a little bit ago, a new app could be listing the steps for successful food preservation, complete with timers and evaluation adjustment information. U.S. Department of Agriculture has the story.
A new app breaks down complicated food preservation processes.
There are so very many small steps in home food preservation, and they're easy to overlook. Even for experienced home food preservers, for experienced canners, we often forget to bubble the jars or to wipe the rims before we adjust the lids.
Jean Brandt is with Oregon State University Extension Service. She came up with the idea for the app.
It's a real condensed checklist that just goes quickly from step to step so that you remember all of the actions you need to take when you're canning. And then because for most common foods, the timers are built in.
The app also gives important elevation adjustments.
Because if you live at a higher elevation, you need to process either longer or at a higher pressure. So those are included too to remind people what's necessary for safe and successful home food preservation.
The app is available for free on the App Store and is based on USDA's Complete Guide to Home Canning. This is Stephanie Ho for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
Take a look at the weather forecast. As I've been saying at the start of the program, dangerous wind chills remain in the Show Me State through tomorrow. The National Weather Service office in Pleasant Hill says, much like last night into this morning, dangerously cold wind chills from 20 to 25 degrees below zero are expected again for tonight through tomorrow morning. The cold wind chills will cause frostbite and hypothermia symptoms in as little as 30 minutes. So please stay indoors if you can. But if you do have to venture outside, make sure to wear plenty of layers. That includes a hat, scarf, and gloves. And you should also have an emergency kit in your car, which includes blankets, in your vehicle. Our forecast calling for dangerous cold temperatures for the start of the new year. Wind chill warning remains in effect through noon tomorrow. And that's for much of northern, north central, northeastern, and northwest Missouri, just to name a few areas, and producing dangerously cold wind chills for the said region. And then for tomorrow through Sunday, temperatures will start to climb slightly into the teens and lower 20s for the main portion of the work week before finally reaching above the freezing mark by Saturday. The next chance for precipitation comes on Sunday, although there is still some uncertainty to the timing, type of precipitation, and amount this far out. But forecast at this point, calling for sunny skies today, highs around 1 above, wind chills of minus 21 to minus 31 degrees, northwest winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies, low of minus 15 degrees, wind chill values of minus 18 to minus 28, northwest winds at about 5 miles an hour, turning light and variable overnight. A little bit warmer tomorrow under mostly sunny skies. Continuation of cold temperatures, though. Highs of 13 above, winds out of the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour in the morning, turning light and westerly by afternoon. Still, we could see wind chills tomorrow, anywhere from minus 10 to minus 20. And then for tomorrow night, a few clouds, lows around 5 above. Wind chill values of minus 1 to minus 8. Southwest winds at about 10 miles per hour, shifting to the west and northwest after midnight. And more of the same for Wednesday. Mostly sunny and cold, high around 12 above. North to northwest winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Wind gust up to about 25 miles an hour. Clear skies for Wednesday night, low of minus 6. And then sunny skies, cold temperatures on Thursday, high around 8 above. A chance of snow possibly developing before midnight Thursday night. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, low of minus 2. At this point, it looks like about a 30% chance of said precipitation, but no mention of any accumulation. Sunny skies on Friday, highs of 13, low of 1 above. Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, partly sunny with a high of 26, low around 18. And we could see some rain on Sunday, high breaking the freezing mark for the first time this year at about 35 for Sunday. Again, at this point, about a 30% chance of said precipitation. Taking a look at the weather almanac for today. And first of all, let's see here. We have up to 1 degree above zero at the moment here in Kirksville. Taking a look at the weather almanac for today, we reached a high yesterday of 6 above. That was at 2:59 in the afternoon. Low of 10 below just a minute before midnight last night. And no precipitation for yesterday. Sunrise this morning was at 7:32. Sunset is at 4:55. Sunrise tomorrow morning, again at 7:32 in the morning. Sunset at 4:56 tomorrow afternoon. Now, taking a look at conditions across the Show Me State. 1 above at KCI Airport, 0 in St. Joe. Chillicothe reporting sunny skies and 3 degrees above zero. Elsewhere across Missouri, 9 degrees under sunny skies in Springfield, 9 at Joplin, 9 and sunny in Branson, 3 above in Jefferson City, 5 above in Rolla, 4 above in Sedalia, 5 degrees at the Columbia Regional Airport, 3 degrees in St. Louis, 10 degrees under sunny skies at Cape Girardeau, 14, that's the warmest reading across the state in Poplar Bluff, and 13 degrees in West Plains. Locally, we have 1 degree above zero here in Kirksville, where winds are relatively calm at the moment. Wind chill index reading at this point, let's see here, is at minus 4. Relative humidity is at 49%. Barometric pressure slowly dropping at a high 30.90 inches of mercury. 1 degree above zero under sunny skies in Kirksville. That's been the latest in news and weather information. I'm Joe Hafter reporting, your Armchair News reporter, and this has been the Nemo Update for Monday, January 1st, 2018. My time is up. I thank you for yours.